The history of this event is around about 3 years ago, we conceived this idea when the previous Hindi and culture officer, Rakesh Dubey, was here. And for a variety of reasons, it didn't happen then. और अब ये हुआ है और इस कॉन्फ्रेंस से हम कम से कम ये महसूस करते हैं कि लोगों में थोड़ी जागरूकता तो आएगी कि हिंदी भाषा भी एक भाषा है जिसको कि लोग भारत के अंदर और अन्य जगहों पे कहने लगे हैं। ये दलितों की भाषा है, गरीबों की भाषा है, नौकरों की भाषा है, कुलियों की भाषा है, जबकि है बिल्कुल फ़र्क।
A celebration of India's national language. Hindi has been spoken for thousands of years. Geographically, Hindi-speaking people are scattered all over the world. 5,000 miles away from its roots, a conference was held in Birmingham with the aim of boosting its popularity.
We would like the youth to reconnect with their country of origin, of their country of ancestry, through their language. And Hindi is a language for many of them. And we hope that this is the beginning of a process and they will not just see Hindi film but also speak the language, read Indian Hindi literature and maybe even write some literature like a lot of people in England are doing.
People from all faiths and backgrounds took part in a series of lectures and workshops at the 3-day event.
Although I'm a Punjabi, my mother tongue is Punjabi, but Hindi is my national language. Hindi unites me with the rest of the country. Hindi unites me with the Bollywood, great literature and great people. So I feel it is our duty to ensure that our national language is given recognition it deserves and people realize it's important. It's not just a language, it is a unifying factor. It keeps us all together as one.
It is very important for us to make Hindi accessible for foreigners, for people born here, for British Asians, so that they can use it as a tool to communicate and do business with India. At the same point of time, yes, because it's something that can link us to our roots, something that is closely linked with our culture, to understand our scriptures, to understand the Vedas, it is important to have knowledge of Hindi as well.
So in a country where English is the first language, do we really need a 72-hour conference to promote Hindi?
The thing is about the fact that there are so many from the Indian diaspora here who have connections with their ancestral home or their roots in India and the subcontinent, where Hindi is a first language. And when these people go back, the communications have to be there. We've imported a lot of good things. We also need to import the value of communication. And in this world where everything's high-tech, the sweetness of a language still counts for much.
Most important thing, like we live here and the atmosphere is so English. And we know the English is important as well. But at certain time we think like we want to know our identity, we are Indian. So language is the first thing which from which you can say that, yes, this is my thing. I belong to India and I speak this language. So language is the very important part of your tradition, culture, whatever you say.
Many countries are struggling to cope with the global financial crisis, but India is experiencing rapid economic growth. There are many who believe a better understanding of Hindi could strengthen business links with the UK.
English became international language because most of the scientific work and all the other things were in English. And I think India is progressing so well now that in a few years' time it will be the top economy, I hope, in the world. And it is only fair that our language will go to the top as well. And I'm sure it will.
Many second-generation Asians in this country learn to speak Hindi by watching Bollywood films. It's a language steeped in centuries-old traditions and history.
Any culture is certainly linked with the language. For example, an Englishman can never understand the meaning of the word you, what it is in our language. Now, the moment you say you in Hindi, you understand the age of the person you're talking to. Like to a youngster, you would be tu, and a person of the same age would be tum, and the moment you're talking to an elder, it will become aap. So you can be commanding, you can be coordinating, and you could be respectful.
Church leaders told Pukaar News that understanding other languages can help to break barriers and build bridges between different communities.
At the moment, for example, I'm trying to learn Urdu, and in learning that, it's not just a matter of a word for each thing, but learning different ways of thinking. And I'm sure the same must be true of people studying Hindi and finding out more about a culture that, for them, may be a different culture and from a different country, or maybe, of course, a culture that they've perhaps lost touch with, having been in England for 2 or 3 generations.
A number of words like bazaar, bungalow, guru and pundit derive from Hindi. It's the second most common language in a number of countries, and it seems there is no danger of losing its appeal both here and abroad.